Welcome back to the Just for Clicks podcast. My name is Forrest, and with me today is my lovely wife, Alyssa.
Hi, guys.
And we're here today doing another kick-ass podcast for you guys. Whether you're on the road, animating a brick film, just doing your thing, you can listen to us chatter on for about an hour, and we'll give you the updates about what's going on. The important things, the stuff that you really need to know about what's happening in the week. Like, babe, did you hear about this thing? This giant sea creature that was discovered recently?
What? No.
Look at this thing. So this thing, it's called a siphonophore. I'll here.
Siphonophore.
Oh yeah, my bad. Siphonophore.
Siphonophore.
Siphonophore. And look, it's 150 feet tall. That's like the size of King Kong.
What?
It's basically like an elongated jellyfish.
That's
and
crazy.
They discovered this recently. Like, they took some sonars or something.
Do you know, where about in the ocean it is? Like, which ocean was it in? Do you know?
Found off the coast of Australia.
Of course, Australia. Australia has, the craziest fucking creatures.
It is thought to be the largest ocean creature ever recorded.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane. There's, whales that are, huge.
150 feet is pretty massive. What is 150 feet? Let's do, a size comparison. So that's, the size of, a wind turbine.
That's crazy.
That's pretty crazy. So, pretty massive. Definitely want to run across that thing.
Oh, yeah. Is it,
when I'm in the ocean, swimming around.
I wonder if it's aggressive. Or, what does it eat? Does it eat, meat, or...
I don't know. I've never even heard of these things, but look at this one. There's different types, and they all look like crazy. They all look like CGI, renderings.
Yeah, they look like aliens.
Yeah. They're really cool, though. They're, they kind of look like tinsel, decoration, for parties.
Yeah. It's really amazing, all the different forms of life that Earth sustains.
Especially in the deep sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty wild.
Because we look at that and we're like, oh, that looks like an alien. But it's not an alien. It's an earthling, like we are.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's got interesting body structure. Yeah, so that was cool. Also, this week, I don't know, did anything else happen this week? Let's go on Twitter real quick. See if there's anything we need to touch on. Any pressing matters to discuss. Lil Uzi Vert gets a $24 million diamond implanted in his face. Sick. Looks like he's had some sort of surgical implant. This could be, people are comparing him to Vision.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
From Infinity War. Look, what do you think of this, babe? Is that the hot new look, yay or nay?
A hard nay. Hard pass.
You don't think he's starting something here?
No.
Because pretty soon I feel like...
That's so, ugly to me.
I feel like, I don't know, is he going to have some sort of, medical issue from this? When Lex Luthor, implanted kryptonite in his body to avoid Superman, it gave him, cancer.
24 million face diamonds. I just feel like that's a good way to get, robbed and, murdered, almost.
You don't give a fuck. He's hard, dude. Step to him. Yeah. Well, I feel like that'd be hard to sleep.
Yeah.
That might just, I would just be, itching at it. I don't know. Good for him, though. I mean, it's definitely bold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right.
It's funny, the comparison to Vision. That's exactly what it looks like.
Lil Uzi when Thanos comes for the 7th Infinity Stone. Nice. All right. Well, good luck to Lil Uzi there. Hopefully he doesn't regret that decision. I'm sure he can
take it out if he wants.
It's not permanent.
Yeah.
It's not permanent. He might have a scar there, though, after. Yeah, but, interesting.
He can, take the money that, from that diamond and turn it and, get, some type of cosmetic surgery to take the scar away or something.
Yeah, just be like, hey, doc, you can have this diamond if you can just get it out of my head.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris Pratt is trending. Let's see. Replace Chris Pratt in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think people are going on about him being a secret Republican again. Whatever. I don't even know what's going on. Who's your favorite Chris, hon?
I think we already talked about this. I guess Chris Evans.
Is Captain America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Chris?
Well, I just want to touch on it every few weeks, just because it might change,
Yeah, there's so many Chris's.
Okay, yeah. I would say Chris Evans as well. I like his smile. All right, yeah. People need to stop ragging on Chris Pratt. He didn't do anything wrong except support Trump. But besides that, he's a chill guy. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on to our marquee topic this week. You ready for that, babe?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready to talk about Bridgerton?
Ooh, that's the marquee topic.
And The Bachelor. Similar shows, yet very different.
Literally, they're so similar.
So yeah, this week, or I guess this past couple weeks, we were watching this new Netflix show called Bridgerton. Mm-hmm. Came out on Christmas Day, and I saw the trailer initially when it came out, but I kind of dismissed it. But then Alyssa was watching it while I was asleep or something, like early in the morning or something like that. And I woke up and I discovered her watching this show. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I was kind of meaning to start watching it as like, a by myself show, like to watch while Forrest is sleeping or working or something. But I can never do that. Like, I always want to show him.
Yeah, she's like, you gotta watch this show. I was like, okay, because like I like shit like that sometimes, and it was really good, man. It was juicy.
It was juicy.
They really brought the juice. Like the first episode, like if you just watch the first episode. If you're not hooked by the first episode, then you're probably not going to be hooked. But we definitely were both enthralled by the majesty and the enchantment of the series.
Yeah, for sure.
Whoever wrote it, like, he really understands women.
Yeah.
Like, this guy, like, he gets it, okay? Like, these women, like, they want to, like, watch this show and, like, be taken to, like, a fantasy land of, like, romance.
Yeah.
And it's basically like a live-action romance novel. Like,
yeah,
when you find it, like, in, like, the bargain bin at, like, your local library, like, when they're, like, selling, like, books or whatever. And it's, like, been, rented and checked out, like, 300 times. And it's all, like, battered and worn. And, so many women have gotten off to this thing, like, over the years. It's probably, like, drenched in vaginal fluid. It's basically that. Like, it's an amalgamation of all those types of books into, like, one show.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's basically about this chick, and she's, like, in, like, high society, England?
Yeah, it's, like, England.
It's, like, this, like, fantasy Disney England.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's not realistic at all.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't even think, like, there were any, like, poor people, but there are poor people in the show. But basically, it's about these, like, insanely rich, wealthy, aristocratic, like, British people in, like, the 1800s?
Yeah, the 1800s.
Yeah. The queen is, like, black?
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, the queen is black, and, like, other members of the royal, like, court are black.
Yeah.
And, so that was cool. So, yeah, that was what made it, like, we were kind of just like, oh, this is, like, a completely, like, fantasy pretend world.
Yeah, it's kind of like how they do, like, in the new Disney movies and stuff, where they have, like, other ethnicities and stuff included, like, in, like, these, like, time periods where, like, that wouldn't have happened. But it's kind of cool because it's, like, yeah, it's not meant to be, like, 100% realistic. It's supposed to be this, like, fantasy world where, like, there's no, like, real problems.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that about it. Like, how it's just kind of, like, there's no real problems. Like, it's only, like, these, like, romantic problems.
It leaves room for the drama.
Yeah.
the relationship juice. That's what we're all here for.
Yeah, and it's about this girl. What was her name? Daphne.
Yeah, right. I almost forgot.
I know, me too. Her name is Daphne, and she is the oldest girl in her family. She has, like, 8 siblings or something, and, like,
all her siblings are crazy too.
Yeah, and, like, she's the oldest girl, and so she's, like, 16 or something, and, like, when you turn, like, 16 or, like, 18 or something, you can start, like...
You can be submitted to the ball, to the festivities.
So, like, it's basically, like, where you go to find like your husband or whatever, and like they have like these like it's like mating seasons like every like once a year or something.
Like this whole town, like it's called the Ton.
Yeah.
They refer to the, like everyone in this society as like members of the Ton.
Yeah.
And like once you're old enough, you can be eligible to be placed in like this season like festivities for like courtship, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
so like the girls, you know, kind of like present themselves, and then all the like eligible bachelors kind of like get to choose like from like which girl that they want to be with, and they have to like, you know, sometimes a girl will get like a bunch of men who want to court her, and she kind of has to like, you know, choose.
Yeah, like a little bit of spoilers, you know, like but like in the first episode, Daphne is declared the diamond of the season.
Yeah.
By the queen.
The queen. Yeah, they have to like, you know, display themselves to the queen.
Yeah, their mothers get them all gussied up and ready, you know. And there's like other families too. There's like her family is the Bridgerton family, and then there's like other families who, you know, they might be more wealthy, but their daughters are a little more like, you know, not as like pleasant, you know. So like they have to like really like. But, like, that's the thing, like, you know, some of the bachelors, you know, they're more, like, into, like, falling in love for real, or other bachelors are more, like, trying to marry for, like, money. So it kind of depends on, like, you know, the type of chick you're going for. So, like, all the families get together and they, like, you know, gussy up their, like, you know, their women who are ready to be married off. And they present them, like, you know, like, presenting, you know, Daphne Bridgerton to the courts or whatever. And they walk down this like long hall, and everyone like looks at them with like monocles and they're like viewing glasses and stuff, and like the queen like observes her and she's like, you know, absolutely splendid, you know, or whatever, like gives her judgment, and then like that kind of you know, it's like on Tinder, you know, like the secret algorithm that rates you, you know, like but it's not so secret here, you know, like everyone knows, like it's so. The drama is just enhanced greatly.
Yeah, and she has, like, an older brother who, you know, you should just watch the show, honestly. It's really good. But she has an older brother who's, like, you know, in love with a girl who's not in, like, this high society situation.
Oh, but no. Scandalous.
But he takes it really seriously, like, for her. Like, for his little sister. You know, he wants her to really, like, marry for, you know, like, status or whatever.
But he doesn't hold himself to the same standards.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like yeah, like their dad passed away, and I guess like usually like the dad of the daughter would, you know, be like the judge for who she can be with, but he's her older brother. And their dad passed away, so it's like his job. So yeah, that you know, there's some drama there.
Yeah, and then so she meets one of the brothers' best friends.
Yeah.
And his name is the Duke of Hastings. Mm-hmm. Okay, and he's very handsome.
Yeah. Like
very handsome, and you know, he says everything like this. He talks like this all the time. You know, like very like sexy. You know, and they're both like really taken with each other, but they can't just like say that. You know, that would just be too simple. You know, it would be like one episode and then it's done. So they come up with this plan because he doesn't want to get married. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And then, but she wants to look really eligible in front of all the other bachelors. So they're going to pretend to be in a relationship or pretend to court each other in order to, you know, like satisfy both their goals, I guess. Yeah. It's such bait.
It's so like he looks like he's already taken. So all these other women like stop trying to like court him. Like impress him or whatever.
Sure.
And then and she looks like, oh wow, like the Duke of Hastings is trying to be with her. Like she must be really like something. Like I need to go compete with him.
And it's like obviously they're gonna fall in love. Like this is some bullshit. Like you guys are baiting yourselves. Like they're just so extra. Like they're so meta. They can't just like fall in love like a normal ass couple. They gotta like do this whole like fake like bullshit.
I mean, this is a big part of like why it's like hot. Like, you know what I mean? Right. It's like
girls love
the
this
long,
shit.
like, drawn out, like, you know, like, tension. Building the tension.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then there's this other, like, guy who's, like, he's a baron. So that's, I don't know if you guys know your, like, you know, medieval, like, tiers of society. But yeah, a baron is lower than a duke. and this guy, this Baron, he's a total like slob, like predator.
Yeah, he's like 50 years old or something.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's that old, babe. Jesus. I thought he's more like in his late 30s.
Okay, well, yeah, probably.
He's probably the same age as the Duke, honestly. But he's just not attractive,
Yeah.
And he was trying to marry Daphne, and her brother's like, yeah, go ahead and marry him. Like, it sounds good to me or whatever. And she's like, no, fuck no. Like, obviously, I don't want to get dicked down by this guy every night. Like, I want to get the Duke's dick. Yeah, and then she's got like, her sister, who's kind of like the SJW of the group. She's there so that the show doesn't catch like too much flack. She's there to like comment on like the society and like make sure like the viewers know that the writers know that this is all like really fucked up, basically.
Yeah, because Daphne's like really like invested in this whole thing. Like she takes it really seriously. She's all
the
about
diamond.
Yeah, she's all about like tradition. Like she says that in the first episode. Like she's like, like it's such an honor to carry on this tradition or whatever. Like
yes,
but like so she has to have like her sister there who's like, fuck this.
Yeah, right.
I'm never getting married. I would never submit to a man.
Oh, and we didn't even mention Lady Whistledown yet.
Oh my God, Lady Whistledown.
So the whole thing is kind of framed in this like framing device of Lady Whistledown, who is an anonymous socialite who writes about the goings-on of the ton.
Yeah.
And she like writes all this like juicy gossip rag, basically, that everyone reads, like including the Queen. So she wields like a lot of influence, but we don't know who she is until the final episode.
Yeah.
Where it's revealed.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Gossip Girl.
Yeah. If you guys have ever seen Gossip Girl, it's exactly like Gossip Girl, but just like in this kind of like England, like fairy tale, like royalty setting.
It's like Gossip Girl took place in like high society New York, socialites, whereas this takes place in like, 18th century Victorian era socialites. Well, is it Victorian era? What is the Victorian era? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Victorian era.
I think you're right. It's like
between 1837 to 1901. Oh, okay. All right. Nice. Well, I'm just kind of talking out of my ass, and thankfully I was right in that situation. But yeah, Bridgerton, dude. It's a good show. Total cheese fest, but enjoyable.
It's literally just like porn for women, you guys. Like,
yeah.
It's without there being really any nudity at all.
Well, no, there was though.
A little bit of nudity.
No, guys, don't worry. You're gonna see people naked. You're gonna see some fucking.
Yeah, you're gonna see fucking.
I was actually surprised
because you're gonna see some tits.
Tonally it was strange because like the first few episodes I was like, okay, this is like a Disney kind of PG kind of thing, but then as it went on, it was like they started cursing. I was like, okay. And then they started showing like intense like fuck scenes, and I was like, oh, okay, this is more like an R thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was strange tonally, but I think that's all part of the tension. It kind of racks up every episode.
Yeah. And
then you're kind of on the edge of your seat, on the edge of your moist seat. Anything else you want to say about Bridgerton? This guy's pecs, like, it's literally, like, popping out of his shirt. Like, like he looks like he has, like, tits. Like, that's how buff he is.
Yeah. Dude, I bet there's, like, lots of fan fiction being written about Bridgerton characters.
Oh, undoubtedly. Like,
right now. Like...
Yeah, some good outfits in the show, too.
Oh, yeah, the outfits are really good.
Yeah, I liked... the Duke of Hastings style. He had good style.
I honestly felt like the women's outfits were like not that great.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was very expensive looking. Like the whole show was like produced very well. They had these like sweeping like CGI like wide shots of the city, and then they had like these immaculate sets and costuming, and the acting was good. One thing I'll mention is there's some fight scenes in the show. Like the Duke of Hastings, he's got this like bro he hangs out with who he talks about his problems to and stuff. And his bro is like married or whatever and has kids or whatever. So like he gives him like some bro advice or whatever. But they're like both fighters, like they're both like ripped, jacked and have like lots of muscles, and they talk about this shit. They can't just talk about their feelings like in a room like the chicks, They have to talk about their feelings like in the ring. Like Like they have to put some gloves on and fucking go toe to toe.
But then they don't wear gloves.
But they don't wear gloves. They literally like bash each other in the face as they're talking about, you know, I don't know if she likes me, or, you know, like, am I, you know, am I a good man for her, you know, fucking wham, like a fucking slam, like just hitting each other repeatedly in the face, and like their noses aren't broken, there's no blood, they're just, you know, they're just sparring, you know, but the sound effects and like the way it's shot, it's like it would imply that they're like beating the fuck out of each other. It's so funny. But then there are some actual fights later on in the show where there is some blood drawn. You're like, oh, okay. So sometimes, you know, punching someone in the face without a glove will result in, you know, near-death experiences. And other times it'll just be, you know, for casual fun and everyone's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very fantasy-like, very, very fun show. Watch the trailer if you want to kind of get a vibe for it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next show we've been watching. Very similar, but very different.
The Bachelor.
Yeah. With Matt James.
We just got caught up with it, like, literally, like, 10 minutes before we started filming this podcast.
Yeah, we just watched episode 5. Yeah, I actually put a tweet out to people on Twitter. And I said, is anyone watching The Bachelor? And I don't think anyone is, because none of my fans responded to it. It got 6 likes, but no one responded. So I don't think there's a lot of overlap between my audience and The Bachelor.
Yeah.
I guess I've been watching like a lot of chick shows recently.
Yeah.
But they're good, you know. They're juicy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. What do you want to say about The Bachelor besides Matt James being a secret Republican?
Oh yeah, Matt James is a secret Republican. He does a lot of like Republican things too, so it's really not like that secret, I feel like.
Yeah, I was reading some articles about Matt James online, and they were like, is Matt James a secret Republican?
He's the first black bachelor, which is crazy that he's the first one. It's literally been like 20 seasons or something.
That's really fucked up. Have they all been white guys?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, there's been no Asians or
I don't know.
Anyone else?
This is the first season of The Bachelor I've ever watched too.
Me too, yeah.
So I don't know like too much about it, but they just kept saying that in the beginning, that he was the very first black man to be the Bachelor, which is exciting.
Yeah, he's really hot, but he's kind of like a dummy. Like, I feel like sometimes like, he does some smart shit, like he'll say the right thing and I'll be like, yeah, nice, Matt. Then other times I'm like, Matt, you fucking moron, like you can't see through these like chicks bullshit.
Yeah, there's so much bullshit.
These chicks literally gaslight each other and him and try to like spin reality. And a lot of times it's like very obvious, but like Matt is just like clueless, like I don't know what's real, man. Like, what do you mean?
Like, he's trying to give everyone like the benefit of the doubt and trying to just be really nice and like,
yeah,
man, it has to be hard, you know, like he has to manage all like 20 women's like feelings.
And then they added like 6 more women.
Yeah, they did.
They're like, okay, we're narrowing it down, but now we're gonna throw in some new chicks, and then there's like a whole like old guard versus new guard thing going on.
Yeah, like they were saying like the OG girls versus like the new girls, and they kept saying like, oh, like Matt's just gonna be impressed by like these shiny new girls. It's like, you guys, like it really doesn't change, like I don't know, it doesn't change like that much, like
yeah, it's not, yeah, you guys aren't like objects, like
yeah.
Yeah, it's so fucked up how competitive these women get. Really brings out the worst in people. The show, it's like, watching it reminds me of like the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Or like some sort of show about like, I don't know, like a cult or like some sort of like weird society, you know?
And they filmed this during, like after the whole COVID thing already started, so like, it's like funny because none of them have to wear masks because they all got COVID tested beforehand. And it's just funny thinking that like some women like wanted to be on the show, but like they had COVID, so they sent them home.
That's so fucked up. I didn't think about that.
And then also like no one wears a mask except like sometimes someone will come in like a, you know, like a employee or something, or like a driver, like a chauffeur driver or something, and like they're wearing a mask. And then it brings me back, I'm like, oh yeah, like they're filming this kind of like, you know, just a couple months ago.
It's easy to forget, that they're still in COVID times.
What
if there was a COVID outbreak on set? That would be crazy.
Oh my god.
What if Matt James gets COVID and he gives it to every chick he kisses? Because he kisses a lot of the chicks.
Yeah, he kisses like all of them. Like
Yeah, he's like, I feel so special with you. I feel like I can really be myself.
Yeah,
so,
he
like,
says
every
that.
chick.
Yeah, he's always like, it's just so easy with you. Like, it's hard for me to let my guard down, but it's so easy with you. And he says that to literally everyone. Like,
yeah, he's in a very like intense situation because you got to be able to manage like all these women, you know, and there's like the emotions are running high, you know, and it does, like I said, it doesn't bring out the best in people. So I'm very glad that spoilers, guys. I don't know. Should we talk about spoilers?
Sure, we can talk about spoilers.
Well, there was this one chick. Her name's Victoria, and she was just way too wild. Like she was just all over the map, incredibly insecure, but like really like loud. And she like declared herself the queen, and she would just like talk shit on every other girl and just like talk about how like beautiful she is, and like she was just like so loud and obnoxious.
I honestly think that she was like just there like for entertainment reasons. And I think that like this show, people kind of told Matt to just like keep choosing her, like
right.
just to like, you know, keep her on.
Because they
for
didn't
the
even
drama.
seem to have like that big of a connection, really.
Yeah.
But he kept giving her the rose like every week, and we were just like, when is she going home? Like she's just crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, she brought so much of the drama that it's like the producers were like, nudge, nudge, like. Yeah, like, it brings up the question, like, how much of this show is really fake or not? Because, like, you know, obviously some of it is a little bit real, but a lot of it's got to be fake. Like, that part with the ATV.
Yeah.
Like, tell them about that part.
Yeah, there was a part where, like, they like, Matt and then one of the other girls went on, like, a one-on-one date, and, what was it, an ATV, you said?
Yeah.
They were riding ATVs, like, these, like, you know, through like the woods or something, and then they're like these huge, like heavy looking like machines that they're like riding, and then it went like the screen like went dark for a second, like went blank, and then when it came back, it was like the ATVs are like literally like upside down, and like they're like on top of each other, and it's like, oh haha, like we fell like off our ATVs. It's like if your ATV literally went upside down while you were on it, like you would need like medical attention. Like it looks like they looked like heavy as fuck.
Yeah, these are like fat ATVs, like big 4-wheeler, like basically cars.
Yeah.
And like it didn't look like it crashed at all. It looked like someone like turned it over on its side.
Yeah.
And it's like if they actually were flung off of an ATV and it flipped over and they fell on top of each other like that,
it wouldn't be like,
it wouldn't be like, ha ha ha. It'd be like, oh shit, we almost died. And also, they would have got it on camera and they would have showed it because that's actually really interesting and juicy.
Yeah.
Like, why would you artistically cut to black right when the most exciting thing on the show happens?
Yeah.
Like, physically. And then be like, oh, haha, like, it was such bait. Like obviously, that was a total setup. Like, that was some bullshit.
Like, a lot of the show is, like, bait, like, for sure. But then there's, like, some that just, like, seems real. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, I don't know what's more real, Bridgerton or The Bachelor. Like,
literally.
Honestly, I mean, yeah, like, the Bridgerton has a bunch of CGI, like, establishing shots. But, like, maybe the relationships in that show were more real. I don't know. It's still a fun show to watch week by week, though. You know, it's something... Some good trash to put on.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we
enjoy.
like watching trash sometimes because we're right now in the middle of Vikings, which is a really good show actually.
On the History Channel.
Yeah, and like that's really good. And then we're also still in the middle of Boardwalk Empire, which is a really good show.
They're both like period dramas with like good acting and like good stories and stuff.
Yeah.
But like they're kind of intense, and you don't always like want like an intense show like where like, you know, you watch it and it's like if one of the main characters dies, you're gonna be really sad for the rest of the day, you know.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Like the last episode of Vikings we watched was like super intense. Like it was like way more intense than any of the other episodes we've seen so far.
Was it the mushroom episode?
Yeah, like the mushroom episode.
Yeah, all the Vikings do mushrooms, and they have these crazy ass like Viking trips with all the gods. And
well,
everything.
that was kind of cool, like the mushroom part and like the orgy part, like where they're all like fucking each other, like because it's on the History Channel, so I have to assume that this is all kind of like historically accurate, like you know.
Sure, yeah.
That like the Vikings used to do shrooms.
Ish.
And like, you know, have orgies, like.
Yeah, well, that part's true. Yeah.
I
mean, who hasn't done shrooms and had orgies? I mean, come on.
which I think is cool. Like, that was cool, but then, like, you know, there's, like, human sacrifices started happening, and it's like, oh, shit. Like, before it was kind of like, you know, we're just trying to survive, like, in these cold fucking, like, mountains, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but then it's like, oh, now we're having human sacrifices.
Well, the sacrifices are good because they please the gods, so it allows the rest of the troop to survive and, you know, thrive.
Yeah, and then, you know, there's some stuff with, like, the main character dude. He wants, like, another son, or, like, he wants a bunch of sons, actually. He already has one, but that's, like, not good enough for him.
Yeah, you gotta have more than one.
And, like, you know, we're gonna, like, spoil the whole show.
Well, you can give him a basic synopsis, you know.
And, you know, so he's kind of thinking, like, his wife is, like, the issue, like, why he's not having more sons or whatever.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was intense and sad because in the past, they had, like, a really good relationship, and it's a really wholesome, like, a husband and wife, like, relationship. And, like, in this last episode, it's been, you know, like, sad, like, rocky, kind of, you know.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
They'll figure something out. But, yeah, it's pretty good. It's about this, like, guy. His name's Ragnar Lothbrok, and he's a fucking Viking. And he wants to go, like, raid England across the sea, but his, like, earl, you know, the guy who's, like, in charge of his, like, you know, of their, like, little society, like, doesn't believe that you can sail across the sea or whatever, right? Isn't that?
Yeah.
Is it an ocean or is it a sea?
I think it's an ocean.
Is it an ocean?
I don't know. Maybe it is a sea.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know the geography exactly well enough, but yeah, basically they figure out a new way to fucking sail across the sea with, like, these new instruments. And he goes to England. He abducts this, like, priest, you know.
Yeah, this Christian priest, like a monk. In England.
Yeah, he like kills a bunch of the other monks, but he takes this one because he's, like, a smart monk and he's, like,
he could speak
knowledgeable.
Like, he can speak, like, the, you know, like, the Vikings language.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Norse.
So he wants to learn more about the English people, and, like, he befriends the monk, basically, takes him in, and his wife and him try to fuck the monk.
Yeah, that was the good part. Like, they totally just, like, corrupt this, like, Christian monk. Like, the Vikings are, like, crazy. Like, you know, like, they can drink, they, like, fuck. Like, they don't really have, like, any rules. But, like,
they do it all, yeah.
Like, Christian monks, like, you know, they can't really do anything.
Right.
So, yeah, like, Ragnar and his wife, like, take this monk in, and, like, they try to fuck him. They, like, give him alcohol. They give him shrooms.
Well,
like,
I guess the monks can drink alcohol, right? Like, they had wine and stuff.
Well, yeah, but it's not, like, to get drunk. It's just, like, you know.
Yeah.
For, like, to drink.
I feel like the monks got pretty fucking wasted back in the day, right?
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know, yeah. But they definitely couldn't fuck or do anything
yeah,
else fun.
they couldn't fuck.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a good show that we've been watching. Yeah, also Boardwalk Empire. Haven't watched an episode of that in a while, though. We're almost done with it, so, like, we're kind of trying to space it out a little bit.
Yeah.
We're on, like, the 5th season or something. But, yeah, super enjoyable. All those programs are all good in their own right. You know what we haven't watched is the Winx saga.
Oh, I've seen that. I kind of want to watch it. Should we watch it?
I don't know. I've heard of it. What's it about?
I think it's about, like, fairies or something.
Okay. Nice.
I like fairies. I'm, like, into, like, the whole, like, fairy, like, mystical, kind of, like, you know, cottagecore, like, vibe type things.
Yeah.
And I feel like fairies are, like, right up there, like, with that kind of whole vibe.
Yeah. All right, let's move into our emails for the week. What do you say, hon?
Yeah.
Emails?
Emails.
All right, we got a couple emails for you guys. Oh wait, no, hold on. We gotta read our fucking Am I the Assholes?
Am I the asshole?
Am I the asshole? Getting ahead of myself a little bit here, guys. Alyssa found 2 Am I the Assholes and sent them over. So we'll read these today. Am I the asshole for not allowing my boyfriend to use the suite bathroom because he keeps peeing on the floor? A bit of an awkward issue, but anyway, my 28-year-old female boyfriend... Wait, what? Oh, okay. I always get confused. Me, 28 female, my boyfriend, 29 male, and I bought a house together this year, and nearly every time I go into the en-suite bathroom, I notice water on the floor, the toilet seat, a wall, etc. When I wipe it up, it's sort of pale yellow, so my immediate thought is it's urine. So I bring this up to my boyfriend. At first, he accuses me of doing it, but eventually admits to having bad aim. What? Honestly, I don't care if he can't aim properly. At least clean it up. I'm not going to put up with it because it's disgusting. So I told my boyfriend that he's banned from using the in-suite bathroom and he can use the ugly bathroom downstairs. Now he's calling me immature, controlling, and apparently I'm treating him like a child. We literally argued about this for hours. Am I the asshole here? What? Bad aim. Does this guy have like a brain tumor or something? Does this guy have a crooked dick? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, he probably has like one of those like super like really curved dicks.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, as a man, like, you have better aim when you're a man. Like, if she was peeing all over the bathroom, that'd make more sense.
But like, women like don't pee like standing up. Like,
yeah,
they just pee right into the toilet.
It doesn't make any sense though, is what I'm saying. Like men have very good aim with their penises because you can literally hold your penis and point it exactly where you want it to go.
Yeah.
So like, unless you have a brain tumor.
Well, what?
Like, why would? There's no explanation for that.
What if like it just like the stream is just crazy?
The stream is crazy. Just point it in the right direction.
I don't know.
The only issue I've ever had is like if I've like come recently and there's still like a little bit of cum in my penis and then I pee and then it like splits the urine like halfway through. So then you have like two streams coming out. That's not good. But then you just kind of pee a little bit extra hard and it pushes the cum out and then you can have one straight line of pee. So that's the only, and then if I ever pee on something, I wipe it up.
Yeah.
So come on, man. That's and it's all over the place on the floor.
Yeah, the floor, the wall.
What is this, like a truck stop bathroom? Come on.
That's so gross.
That's awful, honey. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I would probably like do the same thing. I'd probably ask you to like our baby is right here.
She's a baby. Hey, baby.
I'd probably be like either clean it or go downstairs. But then he's gonna get the pee all over the downstairs bathroom and not clean it. And like that's where like guests are probably gonna go. And like that's even like worse. Like I feel like your guests come over and there's just like pee all over your bathroom.
Was this not an issue before they bought a house together?
They probably didn't live together beforehand.
Why would you buy a house with someone before you even lived together with them?
Yeah.
And she didn't notice that his bathroom was covered in pee when she went to his apartment when they were dating?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's weird.
Why would you buy a house with your boyfriend anyway? Get married first.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really believe in like marriage.
That's weird. Like, I feel like buying a house is like really a big deal.
Yeah.
Like you're basically married if you buy a house together, so you might as well get married.
Mhm.
Maybe he bought it or she bought it, and she just said that they bought it together.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the whole story. Yeah, that's messed up, man. I don't even know what to say. That's just fucked up. She's definitely not the asshole.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But I'm glad she was able to share that so other people on Reddit could let her know that.
Yeah, could validate
her feelings.
Yeah, that's so weird that he's like arguing about it and calling her like controlling.
What a weirdo. All right, next one. Am I the asshole for pressing charges when my stepson took something from my daughter inherited from her mother? I, male 47, have been with my wife for 2 years. She has a 21-year-old son. I have a 14-year-old daughter from my previous marriage. My late wife passed away in 2014. She left a few things for our daughter, including a gold jewelry set. Her mom was devastated she didn't get to gift the set to our daughter on her wedding day. I keep it in my closet since it's expensive and my daughter is too young to have it. I'll hopefully gift it to her on her wedding. Okay, cool. Last week, we were sitting in the kitchen when my stepson was hesitant to ask me something. We're in good terms, but have our fair share of arguments. He said his fiancée was taking something from his mother's in my closet. Hold on a second. Can you read this one, babe? I feel like I'm like an idiot today or something.
Okay.
Just start from that one, last week.
Last week, we were sitting in the kitchen when my stepson was hesitant to ask me something. We're on good terms, but we have our fair share of arguments. He said his fiancée was taking something from his mother's and my closet. Because they share a closet.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
They're a husband and wife, and they share a closet.
So his new wife's son's fiancée is taking things from the dad.
Well, taking things from, like, their closet.
Okay.
Yeah. She saw the jewelry set and liked it very much. He He asked if he could borrow it so his fiancée can wear it at her cousin's wedding. I found this unacceptable and told him his fiancée had no business being in the bedroom.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, and that the jewelry isn't mine. It's for my daughter. He asked me if my daughter will agree to let him borrow it if he talked to her. I told him not to even talk about it again. He got all pissed and said things I do not remember. Last night, when he and his fiancée were at the wedding, I discovered the jewelry set was gone. I told my wife and we looked all around the house. I called my stepson to tell him about calling the police because I really thought someone stole the set. He said there was no need, that he borrowed it and will return it after they get back from the wedding.
There's no need.
I yelled at him and told him to come back with it right then. I kept calling him until 12 a.m. and he told me to stop calling and that he'd bring it in the morning. I couldn't sleep that night. I felt terrible. In the morning, he showed up at 10 a.m. He didn't bring it and started stalling, saying he forgot he'd bring it the next day. At this point, it was clear he gifted it to his fiancée and was stalling. I got so mad, I told him I will be pressing charges if he doesn't return the set today.
Wow.
We got into an argument. My wife said his fiancé was the one who wanted the jewelry set, but he was the one who took it, and it's not even mine. It's my daughter's, which made it worse, because I'm responsible for whatever happens to it. His grandparents berated me after I told them this and got mad and defended him when I said that I will be pressing charges. He stole and he needed to be responsible for his actions. He didn't respond to my final calls, so now I've given him one last chance and it's over. I pressed charges today. They're saying calling the police was extreme and cruel. They're all convincing me to back down. Am I the asshole for pressing charges?
Damn. That's crazy, dude. Well, yeah, I mean, like, I feel like if your wife and everyone else doesn't want you to press charges, then, like, maybe you shouldn't.
I mean, it's just kind of like, he probably feels like he has, like, a responsibility to, like, his dead wife, too.
I would just try to get it back myself more than, like, going to the police, like, right away.
Yeah.
Like, running to the police, like, whenever you have, like, an issue. Like, can't he do more to resolve it himself?
I mean... This stepson like sounds like a bit, like, much, dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of just, like, if he doesn't, like, if the stepson is, like, being super stubborn about it, like...
I mean, the stepson's definitely, like, in the wrong, obviously. Like, and he deserves to have charges pressed against him.
Well, it just kind of, like, you know, he can't be like, I'm going to call the police on you if you don't bring it back, and then he doesn't bring it back, and then he doesn't follow through on that, like, threat. Then it's just kind of like, you know, the stepson's just going to walk all over him and do whatever he wants. Because then it's like,
yeah,
you know, he's not going to take anything that he says seriously. So he kind of had to call the police, like, once the stepson was like...
I'm just, like, hesitant to, like, involve the police in, like, anything unless it's, like, absolutely necessary. Yeah. I just feel like he didn't really exhaust, like, all his, like, opportunities to, like, try to get it back. But at the same time, like, they could, like, sell it between now and then, or, like, they could lose it or damage it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I can see why he wants it back, like, as soon as possible.
And
it's
then
really
also, the thing is, like, after he gets it back, he can, like, you know, stop pressing the charges. Like, he could just be like, you know, I just wanted the police involved, like, until I got it back. But now that I have it back, like, he doesn't need to go to jail or whatever.
That's so creepy. Like, this guy's, like, girlfriend was, like, in his parents' his, like, mom and, like, adoptive father's, like, closet, like, digging around their personal shit.
Yeah, I wonder what she was doing in there in the first place.
And then she, like, sees, like, some gold and, like, gets entranced, like, some sort of, like succubus or something.
Yeah, literally.
Some sort of demon, like she's
yeah,
just,
it's like, what are we? Are we living in, like, fucking, like, 1800s, like...
Yeah,
fairy tale.
It's like some ghost story shit or something. Like she's just like so entranced by, like, this, like, gold, like the One Ring in Gollum. Yeah. You know, like in Lord of the Rings. Where it's like, my precious. Like she'll do anything for that jewelry.
Yeah.
She must have really liked it. Like, shit, buy some fucking fake jewelry on Amazon like everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, chill out.
Buy, like, your own jewelry, too. Like, it's like, you can get, like, gold jewelry, like, anywhere, basically. Like, Etsy.
Well, she might be, like, broke, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's not, like, crazy expensive.
I mean, I guess it depends on the type of gold and how much of it is there and stuff. But, yeah, fuck that dude. Yeah, he's not the asshole. I definitely would try to exhaust more resources before calling the police, personally.
I just don't know what you even do. Like, if this guy just...
I would beat the guy's ass. I'd grab him by the fucking collar and push him up against the brick wall and tell him, fuck, I'll rock his shit if he doesn't get my jewelry back in a week. You've got 1 week, bitch.
That's too long. Like, 1 week. Like, I'd be like, go get it right now and bring it back before it's dark out.
Well, you know, he's got to, he's got to talk to his girlfriend. He's got to tell her that
no,
he
he
fucked up.
doesn't. Like,
and,
just take it. Yeah, like, you stole something.
Yeah, I mean...
Tell her about it after you take it back. Be like, yeah, like, sorry, I stole this from my fucking stepdad. It's his dead wife's jewelry that he wants to give to his daughter.
Hey, listen, my wife died, maybe you could not be an asshole and steal all my shit and maybe get it back, I don't want to have to call the cops, but I will eventually if you don't get it back, But yeah, it's an emotional, touchy subject for him, It's his wife and everything. Hopefully he gets it back.
Yeah, is there like an update or anything?
I don't know. Check. Baby Luna. You gonna go feed soon, Baby Luna? Are you hungry, baby? Alright, let's move on to our emails, huh?
Okay.
Okay. We've got an email from Frame Films, and he says, "Hello. So I'm a brick filming, and while this story might sound dumb, recently I haven't animated at all, and nothing has helped so far. All I've been thinking is that my brick films are bad, which they are. I've been doing 6 months. I can't expect to be that good. I have to do more work, and it takes time. And while a part of me knows this This email's not formatted at all. It's just like one stream of text. Like, there's no periods or commas or anything. But I think it has a good question, so I'm gonna continue. I've been doing 6 months. I can't expect to be that good. I have to do more work, and it takes time. And while a part of me knows this, another part says, no, do anything else. And when someone says why I haven't been making videos, I say, school, which isn't true. I hardly work that hard in school, and I still do well in school. So it isn't blocking me that much. So if you have any tips, that would mean a lot. But I have 2 questions, so I hope this isn't too much. Have you ever looked at your brick films and said that it is bad? Not really at this current state, but when you were starting very early. And my second question is, have you ever felt like not working on a brick film? Also, if you do respond, thank you so much. And if you don't, still thank you for great content. Also love the Zombie Universe videos. Truly a hidden gem." Nice. So yeah, Frame Films. Both those questions are good. I definitely have looked back on my work and been like, wow, this isn't very good. As I get older and as I look back on my work, I find I like it less and less. Like, whenever I make a new video, I think, like, this is, like, the pinnacle of, like, my ability, and this is really good. Like, for example, like, when I made Lego Justice League, I thought that was really well done. And now I look back on that, and I'm like, wow, there's so many mistakes. Or there's so many things I would do differently, especially, like, how the characters are animated when they talk to each other. Just like my animation style has changed, and the way I talk, the way I animate characters interacting with each other and speaking to one another. Not so much like the action, but more just like the dialogue, I think could be animated a lot better. So that's always going to happen, I think, and that should happen. You don't want to be stuck in one spot and get stagnant with your style. You kind of always want to be changing and improving and trying to try new things. So that's important to remember, that that's all part of the process, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Also, have I ever not felt like working on a brick film? Definitely. I go through periods where it's just not that exciting for me at all, and I just have to do it anyway. I mean, that's the real thing, is being able to do it even when you're not enthusiastic about it. Or finding ways to excite yourself, whether that being watching movies that excite you, like movies that are inspirational to you, or talking with other filmmakers about their films. Do something that brings you back into the core reason, like why you're doing this in the first place. And then also remember that some days are going to be better than others. You're going to be really excited and passionate some days about brick filming and animating, and other days you're just going to have to set up your shot and do it, even though you're not really into it, or you'd rather be doing something else. And it's really just about that, like, determination and will. Your own worst enemy is yourself in that type of situation. All right, so we're going to get into our last email here from Brad. And Brad said, I have lost my interest in sex. Hello, Forrest and Alyssa. Just a second warning. I'm sure, as you'll know by the title, it's pretty explicit. When I was a teen a few years ago, I was interested in having sex just as much as every other teen boy. I developed fantasies, I rubbed it and watched pornography like most of my peers, and just like many of them, would never admit it. But at 19, I no longer have a personal interest in sex because I am really fascinated by sex instead. For the entirety of last year, I have been fascinated about learning about sex and everything it encompasses. For example, I was just watching a documentary that talked about the views of adult film stars, and I read about a condom law in California which tried to regulate the adult industry, and let me tell you, it was very captivating to watch the lawmakers discuss the regulations of the sex industry. While early on my fascination with sex stemmed from the adult industry, now my fascination has sprouted to cover more areas of understanding sex. I've been having lots of fun learning about the psychology of the brain before, during, and post-sex. I've even started reading books about different sexual habits, polygamy, and sexual fantasies. Side note, I just read a sexual commentary where the author says that one of her sexual fantasies included being intentionally called the wrong names and having sex in front of her pets. It is super engaging to learn about those types of fantasies. I think what's especially weird is that I'm considering subscribing to camming services just so I can ask those girls what it's like to cam and model for the internet. Alyssa, if my recall is correct, didn't you say you were a cammer yourself? What was that experience like? I'm not pleading to help or looking for some comfort in people saying that this is normal, but I just can't help but think it's kind of concerning that I've lost my personal interest or drive to have sex. I'm mostly curious that without a drive for sex itself, will I find success in finding a romantic partner, or will I have difficulty in navigating relationships? Also, if you'll indulge me, would you kindly tell me if there's an emotional difference between having sex with a boyfriend or girlfriend as opposed to a spouse? That's been a new area of interest for me. Thanks, guys. Nice. Thanks for writing in, Brad. I appreciate that. Interesting email. Yeah, I would say it's definitely different when you have sex with a spouse other than just your girlfriend, because after Alyssa and I were married, the sex, that definitely, in my opinion, improved, and it felt like more intimate and close. Like, we already had good sex before we got married, but it was like just more special afterwards. Like, what do you think, hon?
Yeah, I think the same way. Like, yeah, we definitely had really good sex while we were just boyfriend and girlfriend. But I remember, like, the first time we had sex after we got married, it was like, oh, wow. Like, that was, like, felt, like, different, which is weird. Like, you wouldn't think that, or, like...
Yeah, because marriage is just, like, a societal, like, structure.
Yeah.
Like, we just made it up.
Yeah.
You know? Animals don't get married, you know, so... But, yeah, it did feel different. It felt, like, more special and felt just... like heightened in a way.
Yeah.
What about your camming experience?
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed camming. I'm planning on starting doing it again soon. What do you want to know about it?
Well, he said, what was the experience like?
What was the experience like? You know, when you first start doing it, it's like really exciting and feels like really like, ooh, like this is like naughty or whatever. But as you keep doing it, it just, and you're making money from it, it does just kind of feel like, you know, a job. But it's a really fun job. It's really, you know, easy. I can make my own hours. I just like talk to people online. Yeah, it's really fun. It's a really, you know, you can make a lot of money doing it and not really like feel like you're working that hard and like not put like too much time into it. But if you put a lot of time into it, you'll make more money, obviously. So yeah, it's like kind of like, you know, you choose your own destiny basically with it, which is really empowering, you know, as much like you can, yeah, I've never had like, you know, a retail job or like a restaurant job before. So I don't know what that's like. But I would definitely imagine that camming is way better and way more fun, and you make more money doing it. So
yeah. What do you think about his situation? Do you think he will be able to find a girlfriend or a spouse, you know, without having like that much interest in sex?
Yeah, I think you can find a spouse or girlfriend who has the same level of like sex drive as you. I think that's important anyway. Like even so, like if you have a really high sex drive, it's like really important that your spouse like matches you, or at least like, you know, almost matches you, or like can accommodate that. And then yeah, if you have a low one, it's important that your spouse, you know, matches you on your low sex drive, or, you know, can accommodate that in other ways or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think you'll have a problem. I think that there's lots of people out there who probably aren't really that interested in having sex all the time or every day.
And also, you know, you said, like, you were more interested in it before, and then you got less interested in it, more just interested in, like, the learning about it aspect. And that might change again, too. You know, you might find yourself, like, if you meet the right person, you might find them really attractive and be more interested in having sex again. You might just be, like, a really, like, highly, like, logical, inquisitive type of person, and you're kind of more fascinated by it as a subject right now. But, you know, you might want to start, you know, putting those that research into practice at some point, and you might just be coming at it from a different direction than a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that will do it for this podcast, this episode of Just for Clicks. If you'd like to get your email read on the show, if you have any questions or issues and, you know, you want our expert advice, you can write in at justforclickspod@gmail.com. That's just the number 4 clickspod@gmail.com. Guys, thanks so much for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Say bye, Luna. Say bye, Luna. She said bye.